What if I told you that some of the biggest decisions in your life were never actually yours? Think about it. The career you chose, the clothes you wear, the definition of success you're chasing, even the way you spend your weekends. What if most of it was decided long before you ever thought you were making a choice? The strange part is, almost nobody notices these invisible rules. And once you see them, you can't unsee them. Let's start with a simple experiment. Imagine walking into an elevator. Everyone is facing the door. Without thinking, you face the door too. Nobody tells you to do it. Nobody forces you. Yet almost everyone follows the exact same behavior. That's the first silent rule. Humans don't just follow laws. We follow invisible expectations. Our brains are designed to blend in because thousands of years ago, standing out could literally get you killed. Back then, survival depended on staying with the tribe. Today, the danger is gone, but your brain never got the update. Every day, it quietly asks one question. What is everyone else doing? And before logic even enters the conversation, you've already copied them. Now here's where it gets dangerous. Most people think they're living their own life. Who told you success means a bigger house? Who decided a luxury car equals achievement? Who convinced you that working 80 hours a week is something to admire? At some point, someone else invented these ideas. Then society repeated them so many times, they started feeling like facts. This is called social conditioning. The most powerful prison isn't made of steel. It's made of beliefs you never question. Here's another silent rule. Your brain hates uncertainty more than failure. Imagine two people. One stays in a miserable job for 10 years. The other quits to build something meaningful. Who takes the bigger risk? Most people would say the entrepreneur. But psychologically, the first person is often risking something even bigger, their entire life, because the brain prefers familiar pain over unfamiliar possibility. Read that again in your mind. Familiar pain feels safer than unknown happiness. That's why people stay in toxic relationships, stay in careers they hate, stay silent when they should speak, not because they can't leave, because uncertainty feels terrifying. Now here's something even stranger. Have you ever noticed how quickly your opinions change depending on who you're around? Imagine laughing at a joke you didn't actually find funny, pretending to like a movie because everyone else loved it, agreeing with a conversation just to avoid looking different. You probably didn't even notice yourself doing it. Psychologists call this conformity. But in everyday life, it feels like normal behavior. The scary part, the more people agree on something, the less evidence your brain demands. Popularity begins to replace truth. And that's exactly how bad ideas survive for decades. Now let's talk about a rule almost nobody escapes. The rule of busyness. Ask someone how they're doing. They'll probably say busy, as if being exhausted has become a status symbol. We've been taught that constant activity equals importance. So we fill every empty moment. We check our phones while eating, listen to podcasts while driving, scroll before sleeping. The silence disappears. But here's the irony. The greatest ideas rarely arrive during chaos. They arrive during quiet moments we've accidentally erased from our lives. Now think about money. Most people believe they spend based on logic, but look closer. Why do expensive brands exist? Because humans don't just buy products, we buy identity. A watch can tell time for $20, yet another costs $20,000. The difference isn't time, it's perception. Every purchase quietly asks one question: what will this say about me? Companies understand this better than most people understand themselves. They don't sell objects, they sell stories, and people happily pay to become part of them. Now here's the silent rule that controls almost every decision you've ever made. Your environment shapes your future more than your willpower. Imagine placing fresh fruit and chocolate cake on a kitchen table. Which one gets eaten first? For most people, it's not a matter of discipline, it's a matter of proximity. The easier something is, the more likely you'll do it. This applies to everything: friends, habits, money, health, success. We love believing we're completely in control, but often our surroundings are quietly making decisions before we even wake up. Now here's the question that changes everything. If invisible rules have been controlling your life, how do you escape them? Not by rejecting society, not by trying to become different for the sake of being different, but by asking one simple question more often. Who taught me this? Every belief, every fear, every definition of success, every habit. Pause and ask where it came from. Because the moment you question a rule, it loses some of its power. Most people spend their entire lives inside behind invisible walls, never realizing the door was unlocked the whole time. The greatest freedom isn't doing whatever you want. It's realizing which desires were never yours to begin with. So before you make your next big decision, stop for just a second. Ask yourself one question. Is this my choice? Or am I simply following another silent rule?